and take a break.
It's not too often we have a day like this in February. This just so happens to be Groundhog Day. Everyone's shadow is abundantly seen, so maybe that means 6 more weeks of winter. I don't know. But today what we're going to do, we have a fire burning up there. Probably seen that brush pile in a few videos. We're taking care of that, but wind picked up a little more than it was supposed to. And I started that pile yesterday. So we got to stay up around here just in case we have any issues, and I got to go up there and put it out. I took the tractor and put a burn ring around it, but it's not always guaranteed. One thing I'd really like to accomplish this year is getting our fences in. About 3 years ago, I put this fence row in. And then, just like everything else, work got kind of hectic. We run out of cash and we just had to drop it. So I have some string. I hope I still have string on these poles, because what the goal is going to be is we're going to try and see if we can't get all this string connected back together again. And just as soon as we can, we're going to start putting poles in the ground. And maybe we have to put the poles in, maybe we have to put the poles in the ground and buy the fencing later. See, we'll walk over here and check this one. Let's see, there's a couple little seedless raspberry bushes that we put in a while ago. There they are. And but we put those in a while ago, and this will be their second year or third year. This will be their third year. They didn't get a lot of growth last year, so we'll just see where that takes us. Getting a fence in is really important, because one thing I have personally learned: good fences make good neighbors. Well, yeah. If there was more than that, let me go see what I can find string-wise. We're going to need a lot of string if we're trying to make it to that white post down there. Yeah, I'm going to have to go round up some more string, so we've been cutting a lot of wood lately, and I need to touch up this blade. So the one thing we're going to do real quick is I came up with an idea, and this kind of just, for me, this is going to be a prototype, and if I like it, I'll come up with something more solid. But I just took a blade on my Sawzall, and I hooked this file to it with some really good duct tape. It's going to be hard to get it off. And we're just going to give this a shot. But on your saw blade, the best thing to do is you pull your blade around, and then you'll have two teeth that either point to the left or to the right, and they'll be together in a stack. And that's where you start. So my teeth are at the bottom. I know right where they are. But this right here, we're just gonna give this a try. This is my first attempt at this. We're gonna see if it works. Well, see, that could be a little more better. Just that quick? About that. Yeah, this would be perfect if it had a little bit more rigidity to it other than the blade. And if it could be just a little bit shorter so that you're not having to work this far out from your piece. But I think we'll try and come up with something, and If I can come up with something pretty good, maybe I'll put it out there, and if you guys are interested, I can drop, I can send you one too. But I got 78 more of these to do. What makes a suburban homestead? Well, because in the suburbs, most people, they don't have, even an acre. But a suburban homestead is setting your property up so that some of your needs are met anyways. Like the folks that are out way in the country and they have 50 acres or, even 10 acres or more. They can have a little bit of livestock. They can have, larger gardens and put some buildings around the property to really make it work for them. And if they're successful, then they're 100% off the grid. A suburban homestead gets you prepared to be off the grid, while at the same time, you do enjoy the modern luxuries. And one of those luxuries is going to be a dedicated internet line. It's something that I need. I told you I'm an accountant by trade, so I do a lot of work here in my office. And to make that better and even more secure for my clients, I'm getting a dedicated internet line put in with all the firewalls and everything I need to be in compliance with all this PCI and whatever other stuff. But that'll be a different channel maybe. But for today, on the homestead, what this is going to do is going to help us. We might even be able to do a few live streams from here. Now, our current internet service won't allow that because it's too slow. But once we get this dedicated line put in, we might do a couple lives. This here is the power pole. And up there is where they have the drop-off. So what they're coming out to do, you see that wire that's coming down there. But what they're coming to do is they're going to connect to the box right there. And they're going to bring a coax cable up. And they're going to connect to my pole at the top. And then from my pole, let's back out some. And like I said, this wire here is just kind of sticking out. We don't have it up to the house yet, but when the house is done, it's underground. But we got to reopen this little ditch here some so that we can put a piece of conduit, because we're going to put a piece of conduit from here up to there so that we can just have them slide that coax cable underground. We won't have to worry about it. The other provider put a box here. So what I'm going to do, I don't know if they're coming to get this. I hope they come take it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a mount right here above this box at a corner that comes down, goes through the ditch, and we have some PVC line. See, and one thing, and Jennifer's going to love this, because I've had this ditch. Well, you can see this ditch has been open for about a year now since I dug it to put the first cables and water lines in it. So she'll be extremely happy when that's done. But I'll be able to cover that. We'll have to dig a little bit of it up. The ground's wet, so that's not going to be hard right now. And one thing that they said they required that I don't have up here already is a grounding rod. So we're going to drive a grounding rod in. Because ultimately the internet's going to be over here, what I originally did was put this box here so that if it does get rain under here, it doesn't get wet. And, I keep my modem and all of that right under this. So we're going to redo this. We're going to make like a shelf that sits here that we're going to set this on. We're going to set this on and try and make it so that it's a little bit better, more stable, and we won't have to worry about it. So let's get started. Now for under this part right here, I'm not going to make this very deep. It's just pretty much going to be deep enough to cover it. You know, in the first video, you saw the house up top. And as just the way things work, finances change. And we're going to be taking down the walls for a while. The last storm, we just had more damage. It ripped our tarp up. All the wood got wet. So rather than trying to leave that in case we have any more winter storms, we're just going to go ahead and take the walls down. But we'll share that with you, how we do that. Move all this here around. For a short time, we had this really well protected. It wasn't getting wet at all. And that particle board just doesn't hold up. All right, so we're working our way back out to the main ditch, and this electrical PVC, the 1/2-inch stuff, it's real flexible. And coax cable's pretty rigid, so I don't think they're going to have an issue at all running this line through that cable or through that conduit. And you don't have to do this, but I look at it like this. When I run my cables and wires through conduit, that conduit's probably going to give me at least another 30 or 40 years on the useful life of that wire. Because by the time the conduit breaks or cracks, and then the wire degrades, I'll probably be long gone from this earth. Okay, I think I'm out enough with this that our next thing is going to be trying to work on making this structure. Always have a bag of miscellaneous screws. Never throw that stuff away. And you do this long enough, even a bent, twisted screw will go in pretty easy. Just because I save all these screws doesn't mean they're held good. There might be too much in it is. Back it out just a hair. Yeah, there you go. Now let's lay it across to make sure I didn't mess it up. Nope. So far, it's gonna come through like that. Let's move it down just a bit. I'm gonna keep working on this. Them chickens been a little active. Jem was out there earlier. I'll show you some of that.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring you some worms. Bring you some worms. Some worms. These are meal worms. See that? Worms, protein worms. They love them, and they got good protein. They're 100% organic. These are like just, see, nutritious protein poultry food. It's good to get the protein in there, guys. They love them.
Got that box in. We got a lot of the ditch dug, which is really cool. We got to clean out the rest of this part. Just dig this little bit out here. And I think right there it's deep enough. I'm not going to have to dig it out too much. I have all this dirt over here to pull back on top of it. But I think for tonight we're done. It's getting late. They're supposed to come out and put this in tomorrow, but I don't think we'll be ready for them. Yesterday, the fine folks of Sparklight came out and they have our service in. Put it in here. Seeing what I did, I ran that conduit up here. I left a drop right there for where our food building's going, and the birds will be moved down. And we'll be angling this in here. This will kind of be angled in, so on this side of this, I'll probably cut that tree down right there. And a road goes through here. But you see, we're kind of getting it all in there, and this is just rough beating it up. But I will smooth all of this out. We got our box finished. The install's done. The service is wonderful, but one thing I will tell you is websites also can throttle your speed. That was a rude awakening. So hopefully we'll figure out how to deal with that. But I guess it means I can upload more videos at one time, so that's good for you too. But we're just gonna call it a night. And we're gonna try and fill in some of these ditches. Maybe we'll work on a little bit of that ground over there so we can get the duck enclosure moved. And it's got so many projects happening, still got to get that fence road done. First things first, we get this tractor started. I probably need to get a new battery for this, but batteries are a little expensive these days. Well, we figured out what the problem was in the chicken coop. I went out last night. I heard something moving around in there, and lo and behold, there was a possum. So Jen came out. She thinks she's got the hole where he was getting in, but tonight I'm gonna bring you guys with me, and we're gonna go check, because yeah, we just can't have a possum getting the eggs. That just ain't gonna work. Hey, I don't mean to bother you guys again tonight. I know we gotta do something about all the rats. Okay, girls, I'm just checking. Oh, it's the rats. Oh, gotta do something with them. No possum. Morning. We have a weekend day, so we're going to get a little bit more accomplished today than we did yesterday. But, you know, we got some cold weather coming back in. We had about 7 or 8 days of really nice weather here in Alabama. But now we have the cold weather coming in. It's probably going to bring a lot of storms. And as I said, we don't have the ability to finish this right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the walls down, try and get tarp to cover it. I might use like one of those white buildings, try and set it in there so that I can use that as a way to run the rain off. We'll see how that works out, but we're going to go ahead and start getting stuff cleared up. We'll save this air compressor over here. Well, how about that? There that thing is. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this work or not. I didn't think so. It's wet under here too, dang it. Well, that's not good. That's really not all that bad, but all those storms. Roll the toilet paper that was out here still dry.
These storms coming in like because it's the same kind of thing. It's just two wet fronts hitting.